Orange label, I might pop me too. I was getting money, but they didn't have a clue. Caught the Porsche coming powder blue. Hit the top, we don't need the roof. Fools know we made the rules. I'm with the club, posted by the marina. Eating fruits, looking at views that you never could dream of. Getting served all this paper, I'm not talking subpoena. Gotta flow like a river, but you won't find one that's cleaner.
So today, y'all, we are back again with Extraordinary Women. And today we have Miss FRANNY Allen. Franny owns a business, yes, called Franny's Bartending out in Texas. And Franny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is actually Francesca. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm right here in Houston, Texas. I am 33 years old, and I basically am a woman who keeps her word.
Yes, you do. Yes, for sure. Franny, I just had to have you on our series for Extraordinary Women because we, over the years, have shared a lot of personal things with each other. And you, for instance, I know your background. You have come from one of the hardest places in life. And I've seen you just raise up. Nothing, you don't allow anything to stop you, which is why I had to have you on our series, Extraordinary Women, because you are one extraordinary woman, okay? So tell us, how did Franny's Bartending come to be?
You mean, like all things that kind of came out of nowhere. It was just one of those moments where I just got laid off and I was sitting at home and I was wondering, A, how I'm gonna pay my bills. B, I got pretty inebriated with my husband one night because, we ain't got no job. What you gonna do?
Why not?
We just got hit with a big storm here in Texas and we were, stuck in the house, and he said, these drinks are pretty good. And I was like, yeah, well, I just made them from the top of the head. And he was like, you know what? We should totally be bartenders. And I was like, you joking, but I could, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I put in Google, I said, how to make a bunch of money without having to go back to school. And mobile bartending appeared out of nowhere. And I was like, this is interesting. I probably, I don't want to work in a bar. I don't want to be in a sticky situation,
Right.
But
literally sticky.
Yeah, literally sticky. So I just started thinking to myself, like, this is such a, interesting, job. And I just wanted to explore it more. And then who knew it was my calling?
Wow.
Like, who knew? Who would have thunk it?
That is crazy. From one night of getting drunk to a business owner that employs multiple employees.
33.
I just can't believe it. That's amazing.
33, and we started the company with $80.
Wow.
And we've well made over $500,000 already.
Oh my gosh, Franny.
That's awesome.
I wanted to ask, how are you guys coping in these COVID streets? Because COVID done shut down everyone last year. How are you able to maintain? Because your business is mostly a contact business. You're going out to different events and you're bartending and you're, sort of like catering in some sorts. But so how do you manage?
I mean, I come from the hood, so that hustle mentality is driven inside of me. I didn't have time to sit down and wonder. I just reacted like normally, like I normally would with any situation. Life wasn't easy for me, so I've always had to be prepared, and and I have a strong mental, when it comes to hard times. So, my natural instincts kicked in, and I did what I did. I was part of a different groups that really came to my aid when it came to virtual bartending classes. Really kicked off. I was doing classes in England. I was doing classes in Hawaii. It was a nonstop. I started an earring business. I had some leftover fruit that I couldn't use for weddings, so I started making dehydrated earrings. And and that popped off, and that really did well. I sold 50 pair in my first month. I started my own drink line. which got, that started. And then I got my liquor license during a pandemic. So that was almost 30K.
That's what
Wow.
I'm talking about.
So there's a difference. I always tell people, Yolanda, there's a difference between a hustle, a business, there's always, and a hobby.
And
Obviously, business survived the pandemic.
exactly.
Legitimize your business brings longevity.
Exactly.
And isn't it cool that most of these, very good ideas come in a stressful situation when you are on your bottom? I mean,
Oh yeah.
when you are.
There
It's really nice to hear stories like this.
There were no days to, because the one thing about the pandemic that still to this day, it flabbergasts me, but I don't let it, was the fact that the bills were still needed to be paid, and just because the world came to a stop doesn't mean that my mortgage wasn't calling, doesn't mean my bills were still due. They would turn my lights, they would, I don't know if they would, but the lights company was like, yo, you need to pay your bills. And, and I just didn't have
The
time.
world will stop, but not your bills.
Yeah. And that was kind of like, you heard me on the news, Yolanda, when I said that's ridiculous, but
right.
You got to keep pushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk to you about, because I just see your little pretty face on the news. Oh my gosh, Franny, you have no idea. I was just so taken aback, but not really, because I know you, and I knew you were always going to go to hot places. But let's talk about where it started, because you and I are both from New York. Okay, we both shared a lot of struggles together, but your struggle is like any other. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I was born and raised in Jamaica and moved to New York and got, into foster care. My mother was schizophrenic. My father was bipolar and habitual liar, so he and her found each other in this troubled world, and voila, I was born. And, they did what they had to do. They gave us, me and my brother up, and, they put us in foster care and, everything. And that wasn't easy because, the foster system here is broken, and I've spoken about this many of times about how, that there needs to be more protection in line for foster children growing up in the system. They need to do better screenings on parents, and especially these ones who, say that they're going to do, what your parents couldn't have done. And I had more trauma and foster care. My adopted mother was, I don't want to speak too illy of her right now on here, but let's just say we haven't spoken in 5 years, and it's the best 5 years I've ever lived in my life, because there's no more worrying about my safety and about the denial of the rape trauma that I went through from age 8 to 14 in her care, and just, constant, and to the point where she moved my rapist into my home. And so he had easy access to me for years. And, the abuse trauma that I dealt with when I was 14, not having a stable home, you run to the streets and you find what the streets will give you. And it is, the rest. I met my ex, and I was with him for 8 years. 3 years into the relationship, I was 16, and come to find out he was 30. And I was with him for 8 years and being groomed and, and being beat every day. And, to the point where all my, my teeth were fake, and, broken ribs, and going to sleep in the middle of the night, being traumatized, so I always tell young girls I've been there, and I've truly have been there. Like, I could not even make this up, to the point where, a lot of just my mother just let a man around me, a lot of just was an awful situation. Never had a birthday party, never celebrated, didn't really know how to love me because I wasn't taught. And so I grew up very angry, very, you know, just a lot of people thought, you know, she was a horrible kid. She was bad. She was evil. She was this. No, I was hurting. I was screaming. I was crying. I was, you know, there was so much pain. And then my mental health illness that was passed on from my mother, which is hereditary. If you do not know, bipolar disorder is hereditary. Please read your books. Please pick up. Reading is fundamental and it will help you in life.
Yeah.
You know, so when you don't know something, you read about it. And I just a trauma of feeling like I deserve this, you know, and not understanding that, and deep down was just the most innocent, happy kid you will ever find. Desperate for love in so many ways, fell into traps after trap after trap, with friendships, with men, with family, with everything. And nobody knew what was going on. Like nobody knew anything. Cause when you're groomed in the Black community, you don't talk about sexual abuse.
Yeah, you just don't. We keep that,
you know?
we sweep it under the rug. And
And I told my mom, and to hear my mom, my foster mom, which became my adopted mom, where the last name of Queen came from, I was told, you're lying, shut up, don't know what you're talking about. Come to find out, she knew all along. And so that, you know, those are the secrets you bear, but I decided to not bear them. You know, if you ask me, I'll be like, hi, I'm Fran, I'm bipolar and I've been raped and I have bad credit. How are you today? You know, because I think I'm trying to make it and not a taboo, not a stigma, don't look at me as a victim, as somebody who, I always say I was damaged, but I'm not damaged.
Exactly.
And
oh my God, Franny, you are dope.
That's the biggest difference. I think somebody asked, you know, this is a true story. An old lady in Boston told me this. She goes, she looked at me and I remember I was talking to her and she goes, stop talking about your pain. Start talking about how you're going to heal.
Correct.
And I remember I used to victimize myself on my pain. I used to make people try to feel sorry for me and all of that. And she was like, you're not healed. So what, you know, what are you trying to do? You're trying to convince me that you're in trouble? Like, are you still in trouble? Or are you going to get up and become better than what your situation is? And I remember I've never heard it like that before. And I made a decision at 21 after I got out of my relationship, because he was going to kill me. You know, he put a gun to my head. He choked me out, everything. He was going to kill me. And a lot of women don't survive to tell their story.
No, they do not.
They don't. They, you know, and I had to get strategically smart about how to get out of that relationship. And, you know, I remember at 21, I gained so much weight because I wanted to become unattracted to him and everything like that. And it finally dawned on me, I don't have to live like this. I don't have to keep being somebody else to fit in. I'm going to literally be myself. And it took a lot of trials, ups and downs. But at 33, I think I found my path of where I needed to be in life.
Wow.
So, and then with that
story, girl.
But with that comes great things, comes a business, a great husband, a house, cars, success, friendships, genuine friendships. I have so many genuine friendships. I know how to treat people now. I know how to treat myself. I know how to, you know, protect and honored. And I didn't have any of that growing up because nobody showed me.
Yeah. Some of the most extraordinary women that I know, they have the most horrific, scary, frightful backgrounds. They come from the most frightful background, things that people can't even imagine having survived. But
oh yeah. I mean, and you know what's crazy? It still affects me to this day, but God gave me a good man. He gave me a good man who just he healed me in so many ways. He you know, he forced me to grow up. He forced me to be better. He said, you know, you're gonna get in your own way. And I did not want to lose a good thing. See, some women, they stay in their ways. They stay there. They don't want to give it. They don't want to give it a fair chance to know that you deserve so much better.
Correct.
And they stay, and then they fail, and then they keep the victimizing going. I refuse to let that be my story.
Correct. I don't know what to touch on next, the weight loss, or should we talk more about the just the bipolar. So I want to first touch on the weight loss because
it's all, it's all hand in hand.
okay, yeah, it is handy. So
it's all hand in hand. You don't.
I have to say, you are looking dope. I see you on your Facebook. I see you exercising. You was cute before, you know it. You was fly before you had these people. She got this shape, okay? She got shape for days. Shape for days, okay? And
so
I saw that weight loss. How much weight did you lose in total so far?
56 so far.
Oh my gosh.
How did you do that?
Yes, tell us how you did it.
Man, you start, first and foremost, it all starts with you. It all starts with you. You
Commitment.
Anything you do in this life, I can't do it for you, Eddie. I can't do it for you, Yolanda. I can't change for my mother-in-law. I can't change for my husband. It's got to be with you. When you're fed up and you're tired of the same story, I asked myself one day, well, why can't I do it? Like, what's the problem? Like, you ain't embodied. You're not enabled. You're able, embodied, and soul and sound. And you keep telling other women how to make it out of a struggle, but you find yourself in this struggle. And I wanted to be honest with myself. I think sometimes we lie to ourselves. Yes, I was cute, and yeah, I was fly, but I was sick. I was struggling. I was, just breathing hard on them stairs, and and I wanted to be around for my team. I wanted to be around for my husband. I wanted to have healthy pregnancies. Black women have some of the lowest, rates when it comes to pregnancy in America. Yeah. And, you have to be careful with that. You have to, I wanted to live. I wanted to really live. I wanted to do the things that I desired. I wanted to wear nice, better clothes. I wanted to have more options. I wanted to look sexy. I wanted it for vanity. I wanted it for everything, I wanted it for the most vainest reasons. And you know what? They were all mine. And I was cool with that.
When your body is strong, you become a better businesswoman. I have lost a lot of weight too myself recently. So I do know that when your body is strong, and of course, when you look good too and you feel good, you're going to present that to the world. But you also become a better businesswoman too.
Absolutely. I find myself doing things I didn't think I could do 3-4 months ago. And my marriage is getting better because, he stood by me, he stood by me, but he also was patient. We tried every quick way. There's no quick way here. See, that's the thing that I think mentally that I kept messing up with, because my bipolar disorder allowed me to think that, oh, you messed up, take 3 months off. You're going to mess up for 3 more months. So just go ahead with it. Now, I mess up for like a day or two, I'm back on it. I'm back in the gym. I'm still going. I'm not saying I failed. I'm telling myself that, you know what? You wanted a cheeseburger today, girl, so you got one. It's okay. You ain't gonna die. Right. But are you gonna continue to eat cheeseburgers every day? Correct. You know what I mean? So I think it's just changing the tune of your mind, because as I got happier, I am bipolar. I am on no meds.
I was going to ask you that about the bipolar.
None.
First of all, when were you first diagnosed?
At 8 years old.
Can you tell the public what bipolar is? Because some people are still confused as to what it is, how it affects a person with it, and how it affects others that are involved in that person's life.
Bipolar disorder is a chemically imbalance in the brain. It's kind of like almost like 1 minute you're happy and you can be completely fine, but something can trigger you and you can go completely dark. You get very irate, you can get loud, you can get very, anxiety, very emotional responses, and then you can black out and forget everything that happened and then turn back and go, did I do something? And then here comes the depression, here comes the vulnerability, here comes the blaming and everything like that. So bipolar is a roller coaster of emotions that you're tapped into in an extreme way. You can go from 0 to 60 very quickly. And one of the things that really trigger it is trauma. So abuse, sexual abuse, rape. I see some men and I don't react out loud, but in my head I'm like, this reminds me of a past figure in my life or something, or I can't sleep without lights off. Like you turn the light off, that'll trigger me to be like,
Yeah,
you
you
need
have
to turn
triggers.
in.
Yeah.
And I lock all the doors behind me. So like if I'm sleeping in bed, my husband has to lock the bedroom door because
Yeah.
and literally I will get up at 3 a.m. and check the door and be like, it's locked. And that's what bipolar disorder is pretty
Yeah.
much in a sum.
Let me ask, how does it affect your marriage? Because I know that, first of all, John Allen is a great man. Okay. So John Allen is her husband. He's also her partner, her business partner. They run Franny's Bartending together. Tell us, how does it affect your marriage and also your business?
When it pertains to my business, bipolar disorder is my superpower. I don't think I just need 4 hours of sleep and I'll be on it. So it's kind of like the manic thing where you just like jump and do everything. It's so much fun. I really am very blessed to do what I do. But when it came to my marriage in the beginning, it was hard. John does not have bipolar disorder and didn't know a lot about it. So he saw me through these changes, and never judgmental, never patient, super patient, tried to understand. He read up on it, he listened, he saw videos, he started studying, and people don't know he did that. And it is one of the most heartfelt things for me because he really took time to identify that he knows the difference between a reaction or me having an episode.
Correct.
He started to understand that anything I do is not personal. It's just more so of, but he challenged me to have ways to help myself. And that is something that is incredible.
Yeah.
Because he challenged me to say, well, what makes you happy? Painting, music, trying new things. I like new shows. I like shows. I like for his time. I'm a time person. That's my love language, is him to spend quality time with me. It soothes me. He soothes my bipolar disorder. He is a positive enforcement in my life, and his family and his mom, his dad, his brother, his sister, they're all positive things in my life that I have, which I never had. And I didn't know bipolar disorder. You know what the one thing that heals it? Positivity.
Yes.
It's the craziest thing, but it's so true. It helps you calm, you're soothed, you're in a trusting environment. You trust everybody around you. You know they have your best well-being. So when you do have an episode, you feel super bad because you don't ever want to show that type of love to them because you know they really love you. And that's probably why I was all over the place when I was younger, because nobody really loved me. Nobody really had my best interests. I was, always in a very attack mode because I was protecting myself, not knowing that, I just needed to get out of these toxic relationships.
Correct. Hold for 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah. I know that is really tough. That is really tough. But I'm so happy you have the right support system in place. God given, because you need it. You definitely need it, sis. I'm so happy. So let's talk about the struggles that you faced while building Franny's Bartending. I love the idea that you guys just sat around and said, let's do something, X, Y, and Z. And this came into fruition for you. What was the hardest thing that you guys went through putting it together?
I think one of the hardest things was getting people to, how did we convince people to know that we are a good brand? How do you tell someone, I'm a new business, I want to do your wedding? We got a lot of rejection, a lot of no's, a lot of just a lot of no's,
Especially if you're new in the business.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And, it was very competitive, and we didn't know, how to price ourselves. We didn't know anything. We just knew I knew I had a passion for people. I love people, like I really do. As much as I've been hurt in this world, I still have that charm of life where I just I still love people. I love humanity. I love being empathetic and compassion to people and really, really want the best for people.
Yes.
I have have an extreme way sometimes of showing it because I want it more than they do. And I've learned at 33, you can't make people want more than you want for them.
Exactly.
But
yes.
I remember my wedding, and I remember how effortlessly it was, and you know, my best friend and everybody who helped me, and I just remember I just wanted to make people happy. And one of the things somebody told me was, you're going to be your success because your personality is contagious and people want to be around that. And I was like, I really do love people, and this was a second chance at life for me to be happy, just to do something so fun. I never want to be behind a desk. I never wanted to have a check in, check out, and I didn't care about all that. And it's never been like much of a you know, I always said if I had the opportunity to run a company, I would run it the way I would want, how I would want to be treated.
Exactly.
And so my struggles were pretty bare, to be honest, because one thing I got that nobody can't take away, my customer service. It was easy for me. It was so, you know, besides all the rejection, even the rejections were like, okay, well then, you know, you're not my client. I came in this industry understanding that everybody's not for you. All good money is not, you know, all money is not good money. You have to, I tell my brides, I go, well, I'm interviewing you. They go, what? I go, yeah, I need to know if I'm right for you. It's a special day. You're spending a bunch of money. I would hate for you to hate me or not like my rules. So I started this whole thing where you can't text me or email me. You can email me, but you got to call me first to book with me. Because I want to know you. What's your vision? You know, text message and an email ain't gonna take care of that for me.
Correct.
And I would say that a lot of people now are not looking into brand themselves. I mean, a lot of people now are looking for the person behind the brand. If you're really a good person running the business, if you can provide a good customer service, if you can deliver what you say, you know, people will come after you. People will book you and book you and book you. And then suddenly you'll feel like, oh, my business is booming. It's starting to pop.
Yeah, it did. It blew, and it blew. You can tell what we had to give was missing, because when we tell you it blew, it blew. And that's when I knew. I was like, holy smokes, I got something here. Like, I really have something here. And, you know, shout out to the venues who said yes to us, you know, Wild Stallion, Estates at Pecan Park, Lodge at Mon Creek, 311, you know, Mika Mark. I mean, you know, Lacey Farms and Burton, Texas, you know, these are venues that, you know, Double Barbie. I mean, all these venues put us on the map. They gave us an opportunity when nobody was checking for us.
Right.
You see, nobody was checking for us. And, you know, and the people behind these venues, they became family, they become friends, and they really trust your brand. We're reliable. And most and not least, my team. I got a stellar team. My team kicks. I said I wasn't going to get emotional. But if I tell you, everybody who's ever worked for me is so valuable and amazing and awesome and just undeniably just gifted, you know, from Haya to Gwen, my assistant, and Ernesto, my security. And I mean, I can name all of them. Jade, I mean, Myra, we could just go on, L'Oreal, and just, this is the team. These are the ones, Tarvia, these are the ones that really, I mean, Lexi, the original four were the ones that put us on the map. You got Haya, Lexi, Myra, you know, and Ernesto. These were the team that came in. And, you know, Haya was somebody who was my first hired. She was the person who said, we gonna go far. And I was like, you believe in me? And this is your first wedding? She was like, yeah, well, this gonna be big. And 6 years later,
Girl, it's been 6 years.
Yeah. It's been
for that long?
Mm-hmm. It's been 6 years. I started my business in 2016. I started my business in 2016, and this has brought us financial freedom. It allowed my husband to quit his job. And I mean, you know, I could just go on and on about these great people. It takes a village. It really does. It takes a village of people to make it happen for you. And I could be nowhere without my partner in crime, my husband. John came in and really put Franny's Bartending on the map. If you want to know, I had a lot to do with the front end, but the back end, you got to get that to John.
Man building,
that is John Allen. John Allen built that he built that website. He built the logo. He designed our logo because he's a graphic designer. So he came in and just really he put us on the map. He put us in a place where we were just
took you to that next level,
skyrocket us from there.
What I'm talking about.
and just the love he has for me. I was like, this man for 2 years worked a full-time job as a project manager at FMC Technology while doing weekend work. His weekends were off, but he was never off for 2 years.
Wow.
My husband sacrificed his weekends to see this business grow.
He loves you.
And I love him. And
I know you do. I know you do, boo.
Yes, I do, girl. That is one of the best. I told God, I said, "Ooh," I said, "Thank you for forgiving me, Jesus, because you done sent me a good man, Lord."
Well, 2016 is the year that I decided to quit going to the bar. I mean, I was a young man way back then. So I think that was 2015 or 2016. And yet you're starting your business at that year. So, you know, look what you've gone there.
Yeah. It was not easy, guys. We were, you know, we sit back and laugh, and we sit back and think about, you know, the times that we started, and you know, we didn't see this for coming for us. And you know, it's much harder for me in this industry when it comes down to how I operate my business and everything like that. And one of the things I wanted to change was, and I know that's such a touchy subject for some, is the stigma on Black-owned businesses.
Thank you. Yes.
I wanted to really give a good product. I really wanted something that was going to last, and I want to be smart about my business. Liquor's never going to go out of style.
Never.
You know, and I want it to become a business.
Tell us a little bit about your liquor line.
Yeah, so I have my liquor license. So this allows me to go out and sell. A lot of bartending companies can't do that. And I started my own Frangria line. This is pretty much my baby. And this, my brides all know about my liquor, my Frangrias. They consist of 7 flavors. We got watermelon lemonade. We have blue coconut. We have white gold, which is my pina colada homage. We have our Frangria, which is my Caribbean background.
Yes.
Yes, you got a shout out.
Yes.
We have my Southern Peach, because I'm in Texas, and who doesn't like peaches and lemon and alcohol?
Okay.
And everything. So yeah, I started this from scratch with John. He made the logo, got us the licensing, and the rest is history. And so we sell that, and we also have our Christmas flavors and our fall flavors and everything. We're more than a bartending company. We're a full beverage catering company.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know we have bussers, we have security. Like, a lot of people don't know we have a huge team.
Right.
And man, I could just smile about it, because it manifested out of nowhere. And when you truly believe in something and you want to see it come to life, you got to put your heart and soul into it. You got to work, guys. I know a lot of people try to sit around the corner and wait for things to happen. I didn't wait for anything to happen. I was like walking up to venues like, you need me.
Yeah.
I will be a great access to your business.
That's what I love.
Shout out to your States at Pecan Park, because Stacy allowed me to come in, and she was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be in your venue. Do you have a bartending company?" She was like, "Well, I just have one, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have another one." And I was like, "Well, pick me," and that's how I did it. I didn't wait around. I didn't have time to. I wanted it, and I went out and got it, and you know, and I got my first exclusive venue where they can't use anybody but me.
Wow.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
40 something weddings from this one venue, and they were like, here you go, Franny. So shout out to the Barns at Lacey Farms, Jennifer and Fred. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, shout out, shout out.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Franny,
with all the good things, happening right now with you, the business, how do you see yourself 5, 10 years from now?
yes.
So everybody knows there's a plan in effect. I think I've touched based on it with Yolanda maybe a couple of years back, but I'm going to refresh your memory. Being in foster care really traumatized me, but yet triumphed me to make a change. It made me want to really, my true passion is helping the youth and the kids of America become better versions of themselves, especially in the foster care system. So I want to build a land of homes, and I want to get the best, dopest workers to come and change these kids' life. And I want to bring back independent living, which I think is awful that it got booed out for some odd reason. I found out recently, independent living, if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much when you are out of the system at 17, 18, and you're able to move into a home with kids your age, like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I think it's 18 to 25, where you're able to learn about life, paying bills and living on your own and getting a job, how to go to an interview, etiquette and everything like that. Some of the things that I was given an opportunity to do, which still helps me today in my life. Shout out to everybody who made that happen. But I really want kids to know that they're loved. No more garbage bags, no more duffel bags, and no more putting them back into homes that they don't need to be put into, and really doing a look into these people's homes, seeing, this is not a safe situation. And my mom, just to tell you how messed the system up is, my mom, where she lived, I lived next door to a halfway house of men. That's how awful the system here is in America. I lived next door to a halfway house of men growing up.
Yeah.
Cat called me every single day from school.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
when you look at that, what CPS has done, I was talking to my old caseworker. He actually told me that they didn't even know that building was next door. And I was like, okay. Huh?
How not?
I have the faintest idea of how that even worked out, but
Yeah, because things change like significantly, especially now they do track like sex abuse, people who sexually abuse kids. There's a track on them, so I'm pretty sure like things now have changed a lot.
And
it's a very dangerous situation to have.
And I'm sticking with it. That's the goal.
Yeah.
In 5 to 10 years, I would love to have my own, my own group home, my own foster home, and be able to love these kids and give them the things that as a kid, you need that imagination to run free. You need love, support, laughter. You need that healing to grow up, that I just the things that I went through to love myself was just so hard. Hard. I hate my skin color. I hate my hair. I hate the way I talk. Why do I talk like this? I mean, every kid, why do you talk like this? And I'm like, I don't know. I think this is just the way I talk.
Yeah.
and just this.
We go through a lot of identity issues.
Yeah.
We're not, the likes of us is not really seen on television. I mean, now it's becoming more popular. You see more melanin popping on TV and things like that.
Right, and I'm loving it. I'm here for it because, man, I'm gonna tell you what, man, I prayed. One of my many secrets in my life is one time I thought, I was like, I have to be Whoopi Goldberg's kid. I just have to be. Like, I just know I'm Whoopi Goldberg's kid, right? Like, I still believe this to this day, which is so funny. I really believe she's my mother. Like, don't ask me why. I just feel like that is my mother. You cannot talk about Whoopi Goldberg in front of me.
She's from New York.
You cannot talk about Whoopi in front of me. I will get you.
Yeah. That is my boo. I love Whoopi Goldberg. Every time she's in concert up here, I try to go see
She
her.
raised me. Nobody knows that, but she secretly raised me. I watched Sister Act 2 like 1,000 and a million times. Like she
They'll never
completely
know.
raised me.
And I'm happy that you
She'll never
identify-
know.
Yeah, I like that. You identify with her. That's what's up. I love her. Love her. So sis.
I think she's beautiful.
Yeah, she is. What advice would you give to young women? You're relatively young yourself. You're my baby sister. I always told you that. You're a baby to me. But what advice would you give to the younger generation?
Listen. You know, I always tell young girls today, I said, listen to the things I say, because I will save you a lot of heartache in the long run. I want you to live your life, and I want you to be able to, there's just some things you just don't have to go through. You know, there's just some things you just don't have to endure. If you listen and you create your own path and really believe in yourself, don't let anybody take away your happiness, your joy. You deserve those things in life, and love yourself, and so you can have the capability of loving others. And I mean, talk about genuine love.
Yeah.
Think before you speak, and speak within love, and ask yourself, is this the right thing to do? You know, I see a lot of women react to certain things like, you're looking at me weird. Don't let that affect you. Just a small look will get you riled up so quickly. And I tell women all the time, we have these same body parts. If we all sit down and talk, I'm pretty sure we'll find something in common. You know, if you just sit down and talk, I love talking to people. I have such a diverse group of friends, like so different, many backgrounds. One of my best friends is in love with anime, Janitra. She's in love with anime. I don't look at any anime whatsoever, but I love that she loves her anime and her video games. I have another friend, Camille. She's like a builder. She like builds things. She's artistic, and she's super interior design. She dresses her butt off, and her shoe collection is stupid. I love that she's that friend I can call on and go, dress me, please. I need you in my life, best friend. You know, she's my travel friend. That is one of my best friends to travel with. And then I have Cece, who is this theatrical, this amazing singer, she could make artistic things out of anything, and she's so fun and lively and just beautiful. And so meet new people and try new things and try different things and experience life. I tell people all the time, live life to the fullest. Why not get up and go to the beach and have a work meeting from the beach? Why not go get a cup of coffee out of your house and go take a walk and enjoy the things that you find to be hateful and ugly? Find a beauty. Really take your time to find beauty in the most ugliest things, because I'm telling you, it will change your life once you start seeing things through the eyes of just pure happiness and love. I mean, my most positive thing about my life is I'm not always positive. And I think that's like such a, you know, double whammy, because I have my rough days. People,
but you're human.
They don't even think I'm supposed to be upset. And I'm like, no, I'm human. I get upset. They go, do you? I go, yes. I get upset. I have bad days, but I choose to live in positivity. So if you're going to see that more than anything from me, then that is me being my most genuine self, because that's what I've created. I've created this world that I choose to live in, and because I'm following my own drumbeat. And one thing people will tell you, Franny's going to do what Franny wants to do.
That's right.
And I'm going to do it at my own beat. And I don't need anybody. I don't need any approval. Right. None from anybody about what I do, how I do it, or anything like that. And what might work for you might not work for others.
Exactly.
And so I encourage people to explore. I encourage people to look at different ethnicities in life. And I have many friends, and I mean, I have different ethnicity of friends. I have one of my best friends, people will not believe it, which I find that hard to believe today, but one of my best friends is Chinese.
Mm-hmm. My best friend, she's Korean, so I totally
and she's beautiful, and she loves me, and I love her. So shout out to June. And you know, I opened my world up to see people. I really do try to find the best in people.
Yes. I'm so happy that you have an eclectic, sister tribe.
I do, girl. They are crazy, and I love them. From Yvonne to all my, I have a huge group of girlfriends, like really
Yeah.
big, and I love every single one of them. My best friend Lexi, she's Greek, like
Yeah.
and Yvonne, she's Yvonne is every different culture in the world. She's
Oh, we could build a United Nations
multiracial.
here.
You need to meet them. They're so
Francesca.
incredible. They're so, I love that you guys are doing this because
Yes.
you're right. There's a lot, all these women I just named, they're
Oh,
extraordinary.
yeah. I'm
Every
so
single one.
happy we're doing this too because again, people celebrate celebrities. They just put them at the forefront where there are some amazing kick-ass women on the back end doing their thing, and people need to know about them. And you're one of them, sis. I
never thought in a million years I would be given the opportunity to do the things that I do today. So any young out there who's growing up in foster care, or you're at a home right now and you're not seeing, I want to make sure every young girl feels the incredible blessings that I feel today. And that's why I it's a struggle every day to stay on the right path. Because you can get big-headed, you can get beside yourself, you can lose sight of everything. And I one of the things that I told God was, if you allow me to be successful, I will promise to do right by everything, be humble, and to give back, and to make sure I take care of everything, from my marriage to my relationships. I'm now more quick to apologize. I'm more quick to listen and say, oh, you know what, I didn't do right by that. I need to go back and fix that. And I think that's one of my most important lessons in life, is that it's okay to apologize. It's okay to make a mistake, because a lot of people just expect you to be perfect, and there's no way in hell.
Yeah.
Like, not at all.
Oh, wow. Eddie, do you have any more questions for us, sis?
Well, just wanna talk about something, going back to the anxiety, depression side, because I had my fair share of anxiety and depression. Well, up until today, sometimes anxiety attacks, and that makes me don't want to go out of my room. I don't want to do things normally. And I guess my question is, how do we let the society know that people like us exist? I mean, and for me, anxiety is a superpower. For me, anxiety is a superpower, because there are some times that when I have to do something, I'm always at the tip of my toes. Those ideas are always coming in my mind, and people with anxiety is much more creative than the normal people.
People with bipolar, schizophrenia, all kinds of different mental ailments, they are a lot more creative. And I always tell them they're special.
Find your tribe, Eddie. Find your tribe, and be honest. And when I talk to my girlfriends, or anything like that, I'm always honest with them. I'm like, you know what, guys, today's not a good day for me. I am really struggling today, and one of the biggest things is that it's hard to sometimes get out of bed for me sometimes, because people, I'm drained sometimes after an event or something like that because of my bipolar disorder. But one thing I refuse to do is I refuse to let that be my story. And I get up and go do something, whether it's the smallest thing of making eggs, or getting up and checking my emails, or anything like that. It's just one of the biggest things I would give advice to anybody struggling and that needs to be heard. Find someone you trust. Have a go-to person. I have my go-to tribe. I got my go-to, my husband, my mother-in-law. She's really good at detecting, when I'm not doing well. She's like, you don't sound well. What's up? I'm like, it's just one of those days today. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm here. Just that support system. I didn't have that growing up. And I dealt with a lot of stuff on my own, which is horrible to do. You need people. You need things. You need to talk. You need to vet. You need to be able, hell, call me. I'm always good down for a good conversation and everything like that. My assistant actually deals with anxiety. when I first got with my assistant, she dealt with it a lot, and I was like, well, girl, come have anxiety with me. I'm bipolar. Let's have a mental meltdown together, because there was times where she was like, I'm not coming into work. I'm like, you got to come into work. And she's like, I'm having anxiety. I was like, well, I'm bipolar today and I don't feel like taking a shower. So let's just be stanky and weird together. And she was like, are you serious? This is my boss. And I'm like, yes, this is your boss. Get over here, girl. Cause we're going to struggle together. We're going to be in this, we're going to be in this line together because, it's hard, and I refuse to let her give up on herself. And so I have to refuse to give up on myself. There's a lot of people riding on our success when it comes to making sure our team have work and everything like that. So, find that one thing that gives you just that, that zeal and put it in there and just put the work to it, and find a new hobby and find your tribe. Please find your tribe that understands what you're going through, because I'm going to tell you what, you're going to have another anxiety attack. You're going to have another day. It's going to go bad, but how long will it be there? My days used to be weeks. My episodes used to be weeks. I used to be in bed for days.
Mm-hmm.
And now maybe like 20 minutes. I get mad and then I'm like, I'm over it, whatever.
Yeah, you get over it fast. Yeah.
I don't want it to consume me. I know what it can do. I know the damage I can do to me.
Right.
So when you know you and you really know you, you tend to go, yeah, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go, a month or two without talking to my friends or isolating myself or putting myself in harm's way, because there's nothing worse than four walls.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take the stigma out of mental illness by talking about it. A lot of people just don't want to talk about it. It's frowned upon. People make fun of it, so we taking the stigma out of it is by, letting people know this is what I have and being proud of it too, kind of standing strong in it and letting people know.
People be like, so I'm bipolar. I'm like, girl, you too? I met a girl at the gym. She was like, girl, I'm bipolar. I was like, I am just loving how she is in this gym locker room, just being all open and deep and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you want to, all my friends, everybody who knows me knows that I'm bipolar. And even my gym and bipolar. Oh, now that's a story right there, because a lot of people don't come into the gym because they're suffering from mental health disorder and they think everybody's staring at them. They think that
I know. Yes. Yeah.
It is one of the things that I had to overcome, because I'm like, I have every right to be in here. Yeah. How you going to tell me I'm big, but then make fun of me for taking care of it?
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
That don't make any sense. Oh, the weird looks that I get at the gym. Right. Before I started getting into it, oh my God, my anxiety was out of the roof. I was like, staring at me. I'm doing this wrong. Oh my gosh. Right. Like I can't get in a squat. They're making fun of me. Oh, my thighs just gapped out. And everything you thought. But you know what? Day 1, day 2, day 13, day 20, day 34, day 50, day 60, day 80. Got to keep going. Like,
yes.
Well, excuse my French, but fuck them.
Well, I'm happy you talk about that one, because you notice the last photos that I just uploaded on Facebook, those photos on an island, that was way back 2019, and my body was really good at that time. And because of anxiety and depression, I stopped going to the gym. I have this mentality that when I go to the gym, people will laugh at me because of, not looking as ripped as they are, and that makes me feel sad now. That's why I asked.
You got some people who stare, but you have every right to be in there, and you are there to do what you're there to do.
Exactly.
And I always joke about that.
Yeah.
I take it as a joke.
Now I don't even think anybody's worrying about me.
Yeah.
I just go in there and do what I have to do.
Yeah.
I don't get. And it's hard to say that at first, because that was how I felt, Eddie. I was completely just like looking at everybody who looked better than me and comparing and going, I wish I had her abs, and I wish I had her butt, and I wish I had her legs and her arms, but I will never have what they have. I have to work for it. They worked for it, regardless if it became easy for them or not, because there was one time when I was thin, I'm naturally thin. I'm tall and I'm thin. I'm 5'8". And so I naturally was thin. I was a track runner. I was a huge track runner. I could have made it really big. And I was I used to dance and I used to do all this other stuff. So I was very active growing up. It was just a trauma of my relationship that allowed me to lose sight, which I got into alcohol, got into drugs. And, I found myself in a lot of weird situations, which was like homelessness and, just not being able to trust and understand how valuable I am. I am you are lucky to have me in your life.
That's right.
Now I consider me a priority. Ooh, the P word. Yeah. I'm a priority because I treat myself the way I love all me, and I embrace myself and I don't care what anybody says at all nowadays. And I think that's something that is such a blessing because, man, I see so many people lose out on life worrying about what the hell anybody else has to say.
Thank you.
Because when you're dead and gone, they're not gonna care. You know what I mean? So
right. And
live it up. And I'm talking about Eddie. Go in there without your shirt on and just start flexing on them, and just really get your sexy on and don't care and live in your moment and your truth. You know what I mean? Like somebody is going to find you to be inspirational.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
You can save a lot of lives with the things that you say and do. And I never thought that my story would be so compelling at 33. I thought it was like, growing up, I was just more so like, now I understand myself so much more by my rape trauma, by my being in an abusive relationship. Now I can spot, I've helped so many victims escape relationships. I can tell when kids have been sexually abused now because of the signs and everything like that. So I'm just like, I'm so blessed to see so many harsh realities. And now I see bigger women at the gym who I look at them and go, you got this. And they go, thank you so much. And I'm like, because I got to change the way I think. When you start changing the way you think, that right there, you change the things you do. You change the way you talk. You change the way you walk. Because it's a self-confidence that's just being built inside you that nobody can take from you. I mean, I could walk in a room full of 7,000 people and twirl and smile, and some people might chuckle and I wouldn't care. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe I am too, my husband goes, too confident. I'll be embarrassing my husband in the grocery store, y'all. You don't care. Oh, you lowered yourself down, Yolanda.
Oh, you hear me?
A little bit.
Eddie, you had something else to say? Can you guys hear me?
A little bit. You might want to turn up your volume.
Oh, wow. How do I turn up the volume? Can you hear me now?
Because I'm on 97.
Okay, so.
But Franny, again, I'm just so happy that you have agreed to be a part of our series. Your story is compelling. I'm waiting for you to publish the book, okay? Yes.
That is going to be a hot mess of a book.
And also, we're going to make sure that your Facebook handle, your Instagram handle, wherever people can find you, we'll have it linked to this video, all right? And I want you to do us a favor before we go. Can you please look in the camera? And can you say the following words? I am Francesca Allen, and I am an extraordinary woman.
I am Francesca Allen, and I am an extraordinary woman.
That's right.
Yay.
Yes, you is. Yes, you is. Yes, you are.
Nah, girl, you can say yes, you is, because I'll be in the kitchen be like, yes, you is gonna cook these chickens today.
Hi. Franny, thank you again. I love you, sis.
Thank you.
I love you too. Thank you I'm so proud of you, by the way. And thank you for helping us along the way.
You
I
are
mean,
welcome.
Yolanda, my husband did nail it. Yolanda is very pivotal of why we have the success that we have and everything like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hop out the car, leave the motor running. Why you always talking like you know something? Why you always talking, gonna show 'em something? No stunt double, I do my own.